Hi, welcome back to my channel if you're already a subscriber. And if this is your first time seeing me, welcome. My name's Pam, and basically, what I'm doing on this channel is I'm talking about the different challenges and the benefits I've had moving back to Ireland after living in the USA for 6 months. So, basically, for today, I'm recording this on the Friday morning, so I have my cup of coffee. And I just want to talk about probably the three biggest reasons why I decided to move back to Ireland from the US 11 months ago, actually. So I think after 11 months, I've had enough time to seriously reflect on the reasons why I wanted to leave, like why I felt like my life needed the change, why I needed to change it up, why I needed to move back. And so that's what I really want to talk about today. But firstly, before that, if you liked and you made a comment on the introduction video, I really appreciated it. I really liked going through all the different comments, responding, and finding out more about you guys as well. So without further ado, I'll start with the first reason. For me, this is the most important reason, and I think this is a huge reason for a lot of people around the world. It's personal safety, and this is both like with physical violence. So the US in the USA, big there's a big problem with gun violence, but there's also the aspect of the political violence as well. So I was always aware of gun violence, and I think when you're dealing with gun violence, you find out ways to just try and be more vigilant. But when it started to become combined with the political violence, when you started to see more and more demographic groups being targeted by this current administration just on who they are and not their actions, I think when you combine both of those different aspects of violence, it really became more and more invasive. So really, I felt like the place was really becoming a ticking time bomb because there wasn't, it felt like every day there was something new, a new group of people being targeted, and you could see it on the streets. And I felt the anxiety growing and growing in me, and I just felt like it's a ticking time bomb, and it felt like it's only a matter of time before they come for me. So really, that was the biggest reason that made me realize, do you know what, this place isn't for me long term. I think it's time I get out of here, really, and start somewhere new. My next two reasons both have to do with the sector that I work in. I work in education. I'm a teacher, in case I didn't say that before. So I work as a teacher, and I was really looking at the overall cultural attitude towards education. And I realized, if I were to work in the public schools, there is not a respectful attitude towards public schools in the US in terms of funding from the state governments, the actions of the Trump administration with the Secretary of Education. They're gutting the funding for the federal department completely. I had to really take a step back and think to myself, is this the type of environment where I can grow a career that not only I love, but actually gives me a living, that I can earn a living and that people are going to respect? Because I notice this cultural shift. There's this antipathy or this negativity really towards education, all three levels, in primary and secondary and tertiary levels. So, I just realized, it was a different culture to even when I first moved there in 2019. You still had some people who would say oh, I don't really like the public school system. I'm going to homeschool my child. There's nothing wrong with making choices, but it really got to the stage where oh, all public schools are a waste of money. Every child should be homeschooled. I noticed more and more rhetoric like that. And that was really a big wake up call for me as well. Is Am I feeling safe here? No, I'm not. Can I build a career here? I don't think I can. So those are two huge reasons. Um, and also, like, in terms of actually building a career, this is my third reason. It's also to do with safety, but it's to do with violence in schools. Like, unfortunately, for the past nearly 30 years, the USA has had a huge problem with gun violence in schools. That's an understatement, really. I remember, I think this was really the time where I realized I cannot do this. I had gotten an opportunity to like train in a public school before going back to university to get my degree in education. It was like an assistant position. And so I went to check the school out, and then I was in an Uber the next day, or I think the day after, and there was something on the radio about a school shooting happening at that school, and I realized I can't do that. Maybe I'm not like a strong enough person, or I'm too anxious, which I get, but I just thought I can't build a career in an environment like that. And I have so much respect for the teachers who do the job every single day, and who do the job, in spite of this massive, massive obstacle, because I couldn't do it. It's really, I really respect them, and they're the people that really keep the system going, and they're under a lot of pressure just to do their jobs. So those are, I don't think I have the strength personally to work in an environment like that, because if I was teaching a class and one of my students got hurt like that, I couldn't teach again. So I had to just, I had to say the hard truth. Like, I love teaching, but I think teaching in an environment like that will ultimately, like, it would kill my career. I would lose the spark because of all this unnatural anxiety, all of this unnatural dread, and this emotional burden, the emotional cost of being a teacher in the US. It's something that's not discussed enough. So really, those are the three main reasons, for my personal safety, just out and about here in general, for building my career in a country that has a healthier attitude towards public education, has a healthier attitude towards education in general, and the role of education in somebody's life, and then just a healthier education environment within the school, or with the pupils, with the students. So I'm going to leave it there, because I'm already, I think, at the 8-minute mark, and I think if I bring in another reason, this video is going to go on and on and on. So I just want to say, if you made it to the end, thank you so much. If you listen to all my babbling, thank you so much. Like I say, like, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm just making this channel, just talking about my own journey, my own challenges, my own ways I've dealt with the challenges as well. Just so if somebody's out there and they're thinking, like, what on earth am I doing? You're not alone. So thank you so much if you made it to the end, and I'll see you next time. Take good care. Bye-bye.